Hey everybody, this is Perch. This is a longer mail, but so let's get right into it. It says, hey Perch, Liam Sharp recently made a post about the struggles to get the word out about their comics, and I'd love to get your thoughts on it. This is, I think, a quote from Liam Sharp. It says, we have known for some time and talked about the fact that these days we all have to be salespeople as well as creators, unless we're lucky enough to build the kind of epic name recognition that presented our work to millions of people at some point or other within the last few decades. Usually, their work merited the attention, and good luck to them. I have no issue with that. Neither do I have an issue with the superstars who get or can afford the special treatment the bigger publishers can offer them. Publishers need their big name creators as much as they need big name IP. It's not always fair, but it's certainly understandable. That's a mature way of looking at it. Although I will point out, we'll kind of get more into it. One of the truths in life is if you are whatever, pretty much any profession you have, you need to be a bit of a salesman. You need to be able to advocate for yourself. This is, you ever see those books around how to ask for that raise? Well, being a salesman, being able to bring your skills forward, that's a big part of it. Arguably, it's the part of it. But anyway, we'll get more into it. Anyway, back to this mail, which I believe is quoting Liam Sharp here. Which, by the way, is not an unknown name. He's not Jim Lee level of name, but he is a name. I mean, put it this way, there's a lot of indie creators who would love to have Liam Sharp's name, is all I'm saying. Anyway, it says, but for the rest of us, our work gets seen not merely based on the fact that we are hardworking and ideally very good at what we do, but based on how we market ourselves. And that's increasingly a problem because the internet has changed. We're all working the kind of hours that make signing tours, convention appearances, long rambling podcasts hard, if not impossible to do. It's changed in that the audiences we spent years online building, sometimes decades, are suddenly only reachable if we pay. Unless we're viral, we're not relevant. Unless we're helping get eyeballs on completely unrelated honey traps and clickbait, indeed, unless we play with clickbait ourselves, then we're of little to no use. And even if we do pay, our ads go out to people who don't care about what we do, and as such prove futile. It's a grim way of looking at it. It's not entirely wrong, but again, it's just one way to market yourself. That's the key in life. There's lots of different ways to get to the finish line. It's not one straight line from A to B. There's many different things. And one of the most valuable things you could do, again, any career, not comics, but anything, is figure out which one is your natural state. Because a lot of people try and market themselves using, a single method that is not natural to them, and they fail. You have to find out what's natural to you. Eric July is somebody who enjoys YouTube, enjoys that part of social media, videos and everything else, and he leverages that to market himself, and it's natural for him, and that's how he does it. But that's not going to be natural for a lot of other people. And if you try and use the same approach and you're not, it's just not you, you're probably going to fail. But that doesn't mean there's no hope. It just means there's a different route. Anyway, back to the mail. It says, I also read recently the comic websites in general are not getting any traction because they don't get the kind of views that big platforms want. We're small fry, even though we're a multi-billion-dollar industry. If you count movies, yeah. If you don't count movies, you're not. And I think, if we're really getting rough with where the comic industry's at, lumping your money into what Hollywood's making off of you is akin to, a product and licensing the product. They are two separate entities, and one doesn't necessarily feed the other. I mean, it's been very clear now, you have multi-billion-dollar movies out, but retail comic shops get bit. I understand the plight of the creator, but look, nobody's getting that anywhere. Anyway, back to his mail. And now I'm seeing the bottom of the email, and this is all basically Liam Sharp's comments. So I'm being asked to kind of comment on, which I'm doing. Anyway, back to it. And it all feels so like such a horribly missed opportunity because, like micropayments, our smaller levels of connectivity do matter. Communities begin with as little as 3 people. 50 can constitute a village, a few hundred a town. So cutting us off from our few thousand followers is a terrible oversight and a big mistake. Making us pay to reach the audiences we build for ourselves on these platforms is not just wrong, it's really stupid and very short-sighted. In this moment, I'm not entirely sure what he's talking about unless he's saying you have to pay to get verified on X, or I mean, maybe it's going to come clear, but I'm not entirely sure what he means by this, but we'll keep going. Sadly, there's almost nothing, it seems, we can do about it. We don't all have the skills, time, or capacity to make YouTube content. We're not all up for dancing on TikTok. I mean, God, please don't be up for dancing on TikTok. Although, yeah, Liam Sharp dancing would be kind of entertaining. We can't join every new network as the ones we trusted fail and fail. We're conflating a few things here. I understand his plight, but understand that, when you're using a channel, channels do evolve and change. Once upon a time there was MySpace, then it's Facebook. Facebook is slowly dying. We have people on Instagram, we have X, we have YouTube, we have something else after that. No, we do not have Blue Sky. I'm sorry, that's not doing well. Likewise, if I'm being fair, we don't have Trump Social either. None of those platforms are doing great. Anyway, this is normal. Tech changes. Just like marketing changes. You used to run newspaper ads. You wouldn't do that today. You used to pay to get a bigger placement in the yellow pages. When I first opened a comic shop, I absolutely paid to have an ad in the yellow pages. Most people now don't even know what the hell that is. Anyway, we'll finish off this mail and do more commentary. It says, in the end, we have to trust that those who appreciate our efforts continue to seek us out and support us. I think that's why I see so often some of the finest of us represented as underrated. It's felt we don't get the traction, the marketing, the widespread name recognition we might deserve. But then these times don't permit it. It's much harder to be a breakout. And I found that you do need to break out much more than once in your career to truly survive it. That's true. You need to continually break out. Unless you go supernova. And alas, supernovas are rare indeed. And they always will be. So a lot of things here. Look, part of the game is marketing, and you need to learn it. Now, there are classes you can take online. There's stuff you can do for free. You could also play for LinkedIn Learning, which is not much money, and you could cram some classes. But basically, if you're in this space, you need to get a marketing degree, or not a real degree, but you need to invest the time into it. It actually is critical. Whoever you are, there's lots of resources available. You just got to want to do it. Speaking of lots of resources available, and I'm not picking on Liam here, but I could. A lot of us here on YouTube will do a video with you. We will promote you. We will market you. Mark Miller hits me up and says, "Hey, I'd like to talk to you." He hits me up and says, "Hey, you should talk to my daughter." And I'm happy to do it. Anytime, generally speaking, when somebody reaches out, Blake, I love you to death, and I'm getting back to you. When somebody reaches out and says, "Hey, I'd love to talk," well, we talk. Like, I will set it up. Sometimes there's scheduling conflicts, so I'm flying around or in a hospital, but in general, if you want to talk, we'll make the time to talk. But what happens often is I see mails like that one, like Liam's, and I will reach out to them, or I used to. I don't do it as much anymore because I got kind of tired of it. And I would say, "Hey, I'll interview you. You can hype your stuff, and I'll make it a good interview." I'll brag here for a minute, or I don't know if bragging is the right word. I've been told that I do good interviews. I don't know if it's true or not, but I do different interviews. I will say that. I listened to some of the others. A lot of people go on Word Balloon or Omar or the various channels to do the interviews, and nothing wrong with those guys. They do good interviews there too. But several, not Omar, but like Word Bubble has far smaller of a distribution than I do, and we have proof that people have come on the show and hawked their stuff. They've gotten money. They've actually gotten a boost in what they do. And it's sitting here waiting for you. But when I reach out, I get I don't know. I mean, are you, I heard from Heidi McDonald, you're CG adjacent. And it's like, look, it's your show. It's literally, it can be your show. You don't take it or leave it. I'm giving you an offer. But I find a lot of people will say, "Hey, I don't know how to get the word out. I'm frustrated." Again, I'm not portraying Liam Sharp this way. But lots of people have complained about not getting the attention. And then when I offer them the attention, then suddenly it's, I don't know, Archie, don't you talk culture war stuff every now and then. I don't know. I'm going to go on, I'm going to go on the people that I see when I go to the Eisners. It's like, look, I'm sorry, but you go where the attention is. This channel is not. I'm not making this a hype for me because there's a lot of other people in the same boat. There's plenty of people out there who will interview you, who will talk to you, who will do all the work. They'll set up the stream, they'll set up the thumbnail, all you have to do is show up, talk, and I'm just it's an avenue. But overall, look, I think this is why I'm recommending classes. I agree with what Liam's saying, but I don't agree that it's an impossible task. And I think, one way to look at it is if Mark Miller, who's got plenty of money, he's doing very well. He is the supernova as a writer, from this, from the expression. I mean, he's the guy he's probably the writer who got the best deal. He got the Netflix deal. He's the one who quote unquote cashed in the best. And he'll reach out saying, hey, I'd love to come on the show. And I know he's done the same thing for Wes and he's done the same thing for other people. Do it. That's what it's going to take. You don't have to, but it's sitting out there as an option, free of charge, to solve that problem that you want solved. And I think so. I don't have amazing sympathy if if there are options available, and I do think you just got to set your mind to it. I think a lot of people in comics just want things to be the same. They want, it's like, the Beat is a comic news site that's been around forever, so I will go talk to that. It's like, yeah, but the Beat it has no traffic these days. And then I've heard people within comics, publishers, talk about, well, like, yeah, we're going to score you an interview on IGN. The traffic and eyeballs you get on an IGN comic book article is pathetic. You got to go other places. You do have to be savvy about where the attention is and then go there. And that takes work, no doubt about it. And I'm sympathetic to the fact there's only so many hours in the day, but this is why, work smarter, not harder. Get some of these marketing classes that are free. Get some of these suggestions. Try different things. That's what you have to do, and you kind of always have to do it. You have to build that brand for yourself. But I see a lot of people in comics complain about wanting to get marketing. And again, I've met Liam Sharp on numerous occasions. He's a wonderful guy, friendly, sweet, gigantic and intimidating, but a wonderful guy. And so I'm not trying to make this about him because he's raising some valid points. But I see a lot of people who raise the same points also do nothing to actually market themselves and to actually take advantage of a lot of options that are there. It doesn't have to be an impossible task. I'll give you, once again, I've given this advice a million times. And you'll know if you're on Twitter. I know 3 or 4 artists have done this. They basically got they spent 4 hours. They gathered up a shitload of sketches and art and original art, all kinds of things they've had over the years. They had the digital copies of them. They used a Twitter kind of feed manager, of which there are numerous out there, free of charge. You can pay for better UI, but there's plenty free. They uploaded all these things, and then they just started putting them out once a day. And they scheduled it all for like 4 months, and then that once a day there's a post that's made with some of the original art with a little description, and then often a link to their website. And I'll give you one. Paul Smith did it. It's a good idea. I've given it. People have taken this idea. It's very easy to do. It takes 0 time out of your day once you set it up the first time, and you're done. And the biggest marketing that I think if you're in comics that you need to get your mind around is constant attention. But constant attention can be time consuming. So this is where you use the tools to help. That's all you can do. Anyway. It's a tough world, and the publishers are doing no favors, and we are missing, Wizard, for all the people who hated it, was, I thought it was a great tool. We need stuff like that. That's how we're going to survive. But anyway, what do you think? Impossible task, or better yet, do you have some suggestions for comic artists, writers out there who are trying to get some hype and some promotion for what they do? What's your suggestion? How would you help them? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe, or don't. It's up to you, because I'm anti-marketing at this point. Thanks for listening.